Bushra Taylor. He's going to introduce the resolution, House resolution.
Thank you. The House of Representatives also passed a resolution honoring the worldwide victims of genocide and recognizing April 24, 2012 as Georgia's Day of Remembrance of the Armenian Genocide of 1915 to 1923. Whereas as home to over 500 Armenian families, Armenian Americans living in Georgia have greatly enriched our state through their leadership in business, agriculture, academic, government, and the arts, and now therefore be it resolved in this resolution that April 24, 2012 is recognized as Georgia's Day of Remembrance of the Armenian Genocide of 1915 to 1923, in remembrance of the 1.5 million people of Armenian ancestry who lost their lives during this terrible time. And that was passed by the House of Representatives in March of 2012. I'll also be presenting on behalf of Congressman Hank Johnson, who could not be here today for duties he is attending to in Washington, D.C. He wrote this letter on behalf of his constituents to the chairman. As the U.S. representative of Georgia's 4th Congressional District, I join you in honoring and mourning the 1.5 million Armenian men, women, and children killed during the Armenian Genocide between 1915 and 1923. This year marks the 97th anniversary of genocide. Today, people around the world will pay tribute to those who lost their lives. I regret that I am unable to join you at this year's commemorative ceremony. Please extend my sympathies and best wishes to your family, friends, neighbors, and colleagues in the Armenian American community. Thank you for all of your efforts. Sincerely, Henry Hank Johnson, Congressman, United States of America. Thank you all so much.
Our next speaker is Honorable Judge Thelma Wyatt Cumming-Moore for her speech.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I join today with my friends in the Armenian American community and with all people of good conscience in remembering the victims of the Armenian Genocide and reaffirming our shared commitment in preventing genocide anywhere on this earth. Perhaps the only lesson we can draw from the tragic crime which was committed against the Armenian population of the Ottoman Empire is that we must be ever vigilant against man's capacity to inflict harm on his fellow man. History has all too often shown us that governments will use genocide as an instrument of state policy. Unless we are willing to hold the perpetrators accountable, we will continue to witness suffering and death on a scale previously unimaginable. The Armenian Genocide and the international community's indifference to this crime against humanity set the stage for a century of unparalleled suffering. The Holocaust, the genocide in Cambodia, the current tragedy in Bosnia, the widespread massacres in Rwanda, and countless other genocidal campaigns have at least some roots in the world's failure to hold accountable the perpetrators of the Armenian Genocide. The first step toward preventing future instances of genocide is to openly and honestly recognize the genocides of the past. We must reject those who would, in the name of political expediency, deny the Armenian Genocide or any such crime against humanity. By allowing revisionism to cloud our memory of such suffering, we pave the way for future leaders who seek to solve their nation's problems through genocidal means. Only justice for the victims can we begin to bring an end to the cycle of genocidal violence that has characterized the 20th century. Today, the Turkish government is engaged in a well-funded and highly sophisticated campaign to deny the Armenian Genocide ever occurred. A team of public relation firms, lobbyists, and academic mercenaries seek to rewrite this history in Armenian history. They seek even to deny the memory of the American diplomats who witnessed firsthand the suffering of the Armenian people. I would like to quote from a description of the Armenian genocide given by United States Ambassador to the Ottoman Empire, Henry Morgenthau, in his book, Ambassador Morgenthau's Story. He said, "When the Turkish authorities gave the order for these deportations, they were merely giving the death warrant to a whole race. They understood this well, and in their conversations with me, they made no particular attempt to conceal that fact. I am confident that the whole history of the human race contains no such horrible episode as this. The great massacres and persecutions of the past seem almost insignificant when compared to the sufferings of the Armenian race in 1916 and 1915. The Turkish government today denies the testimony of Ambassador Morgenthau, just as it seeks to cover up or discredit the extensive documentation of the genocide contained in the archives of the United States, Great Britain, Germany, Austria, and many other nations. Despite the overwhelming evidence, the Turkish government would, for their own reasons of political expediency, deny the suffering of an entire nation and set the stage for future leaders to pursue genocidal policies secure in the belief that even the cruelest crimes against humanity can be hidden from the world. These efforts must be resisted if we are ever to bring an end to the scourge of genocide. To forget, or even worse, to allow for the denial of genocide is the surest guarantee for future genocides. As a nation based on the ideals of truth, justice, and the sanctity of human rights, the United States must stand firm in its commitment to remember and to analyze the past in order to ensure that similar crimes against humanity do not continue into the future.